Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, May the 4th, 2023. This is Women on the Move Book Club, and we have another awesome book to discuss today. But we'll first start with introductions. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Vivian Gales.
I'm Melody Myers.
And the host of our book club tonight, I'll let her introduce herself, and then she can take it away and tell you the title of the book, the author, and she'll get us started.
Thank you. I'm Linda McKnight. I am so pleased to be the host for this exciting book tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. The book is entitled While Justice Sleeps, and it's by Stacey Abrams. A little bit about the writer. Some of you may be very, very familiar with her. She is a up-and-coming politician of Georgia. She's an activist. She has a law degree from Yale Law School. And this is not her first fiction book. She wrote several fiction books under a pen name, Selena Montgomery. So if you want to check out some more of her fiction, go to look for Selena Montgomery. But this is her first fiction book under her actual name. Okay, so just a little bit of facts. And it was interesting to me that also in her family is her sister's a sitting judge. I believe she's a federal judge. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll give you a brief overview of the book. It is a legal thriller, and to me, it's on par with the writing of John Grisham. It was just that engaging. And it starts off with a U.S. Supreme Court justice who's considered the swing vote on the Supreme Court. And he goes into what we're going to later discover after reading the book, a self-induced coma. Self-induced coma, okay? And this coma was part of his grand plan to expose the sinister and totally illegal weapons plan devised by the current U.S. president and his loyal followers. If the plan had been implemented or brought to fruition, it would have led to the death of millions of people under disguise of national security. In addition to the illegal military terrorist plot, the judge has an ethical dilemma. And that dilemma was and he was trying to sidestep it. And that was, he would have to rule on a case that would provide personal benefit for himself and his son because of the genetics study that was being involved had a possible cure for an illness that he and his son had. So he knew if he ruled in favor of it, it would have been viewed, okay, you only rule that way because of your son. Okay, so what does he do? He selects the perfect weapon. That's one of the terms that was in the book, the perfect weapon to assist in solving these two problems that he has. This person was Avery Keene, his law clerk. Now she thought he didn't like her at all because he never really gave her any compliments. He was hard on her. But he was watching her, and what he saw, her attributes, he liked. And he knew that if anybody could help solve the problem, it was Avery. And I love the fact that he used the game of chess to give out the clues to help Avery unravel the evidence needed to bring everything into the light and give him the resolution that he could live with. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start, of course, favorite characters. Melody, who was your favorite character?
Well, I liked Avery. I liked her tenacity. I mean, it was like she was exactly what you said. She was a weapon because she was loyal. And that's why I think he picked her, because he knew that it was a mystery to her, and she knew him well enough to know that there was something he needed to get out, and he wasn't being able to get it out. So it was just interesting though, because it was like he would give her enough to create that loyalty, but not too much to basically get ahead of herself either, So I think what I liked about it is that her loyalty was was really the weapon, because if you heard her internal dialogue, she's like, why did he pick me? Why would he have chosen me? He doesn't even like me. I mean, it was just constant, but yet she knew within her heart that she was trying to find justice, and so she'd find a little piece, and then she'd like, oh, wait a second, there's more to that. And I really liked that. So and I have to say, I kind of, at the end, I liked the justice. I thought, you know, I thought
That
he
was,
did a pretty good job.
yeah, that was my favorite character, was Judge Man.
So that's
Anybody else?
So Avery was my favorite as well. She was so sharp. And I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Melody said, so I won't repeat that. But through the book, Avery found herself.
Mm.
She, in the beginning, was more tentative and wasn't as secure in her knowledge. And through unraveling the clues and getting to the end, she became a force to reckon with.
We
So
did.
I love seeing the transformation of
Mhm.
Avery through the book, going from, you know, not that
Unsure.
self-confident, kind of
Right.
timid, always in her head, do you like, and then at the end, it's like she was powerful.
right. I don't think she was all that timid, but she was insecure.
Insecure is a better
Mhm.
word. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that was her background.
Exactly. And we did have two more who joined us. Harriet came in, and so did Tiffany. So wave, Harriet, wave, Tiffany. Awesome.
I agree with both of you. But one thing that I think that really helped Avery was the fact that not only did she have book smart, she also had street smarts.
Street
And
smarts.
that is what really helped her in the end, was the fact that she could use her street smarts that helped her finish the job, so to speak. But it was a process for her. And like you say, she found herself. And we saw throughout the whole book how she was finding herself step by step as she went through the process. And I like the way she used the cameras in her house to manipulate the people that were after her or that were checking on her. So yes, she was mine, and so was the judge. I mean, he was brilliant.
Yes.
To mastermind that type of a plan and to pick the right person to carry it out. He was really a lot smarter than people thought. And I also I think her name was Roseberg, the Justice Roseberg, because she had to remain neutral, but you could tell she was on Avery's side. And I like that she basically helped her, in freeing her up from going to work every day so that she could take care of going through finding the clues that the judge had left her.
She provided that buffer that Avery needed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But can I say one thing? This book, I could see Stacey doing a sequel.
Definitely.
It comes out at the end of the month. It comes out at the end of the month.
Oh, really?
It's called Rogue Justice. Comes out
Oh,
Oh, how funny. Interesting.
yes.
And it's going to be, this book is going to be made into a TV series.
I could see that.
Wow.
I can see that.
Wow. Awesome. Okay.
Harriet, who was your favorite character?
Justice Win. He, from the beginning, I loved his brilliance. I loved how he thought about thought about every angle of the health thing and the weapons thing. How he was curt, but it was kind of like a facade to what he really thought. I thought that his legal mind was brilliant. I thought that, uh, you could tell he was not a man that just jumped and did things. He really thought out things. Even, I'm sure as heartbreaking as it was to allow his son to go live with his aunt and uncle. That's something that he just came up with. I even remember in the beginning of the book when he was talking to her and he was saying, well, what game do you play when you gamble? Or when he was talking about chess.
Mhm.
And those are all things, those weren't just casual conversations. He was really doing that, vetting her to see, because he knew what had to be done, but he had to make sure that she was the right person. Loved how he really put himself aside to save the country. So I loved him. I loved him. So I can't wait to see what's, the next book and all of that. I can't wait for the series now. But I love this book. And I was telling Vivian, I said, now, after reading the first couple of chapters, I'm already ready to go buy the next book that she has written.
What did you guys think of Rita, the mother?
Oh, Rita was a hot mess.
Hot potato mess.
But you know what? Vivian, when you said Avery was not only book smart, she was street smart. She had to be street smart because of her mother.
Mother.
And
Exactly.
her mother, even though, she tried to give her tough
And
love.
even though Rita was a mess, it was her life that helped Avery
Correct.
to solve this and really to stay alive.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then
Because if I had to deal with it, it would have been.
Exactly. And they used Rita as a
On.
pawn because of, her being Avery's mom. But it still
Right.
worked out for Avery's good at the end.
And I, what about Rita, she had her problems with addiction, but toward the end of the book, when they were threatening her child, that mama bear out.
That's right.
And she must went to the Chief Justice to speak up for her child.
Mhm.
Correct.
And then she said, my child has done nothing to deserve this. I mean, she spoke up, and it's a very pointed part in the book where she said something. Of all days, I forgot to put my tablet in here with me with all my highlighted notes. Okay, so I'll come back to that. Okay, so we can talk about, in the book, he said Avery, in chapter 34, it says Avery was his weapon. And in a certain page, it said, it described her why she was a weapon, and her characteristics was her tenacity, her stubbornness, and her refusal to give out. And he saw all of that in, and that's why he selected her.
Correct.
You remember in the pivotal point in the book where they told her if she would just sign off and let his wife take charge, and the wife, you know what the wife is going to do? She's going to pull that plug in a heartbeat.
Correct.
And that stubborn, smart street came in Avery. She said, no, I'm going to see this through. Game's not over. The game is not over. She had more problems. So from that, I knew nothing they threw at that young lady was going to turn her aside from completing this mission. And that's what the judge saw in her. He saw Avery in the law office, but he also saw Avery on the streets of Washington trying to get her drug addicted mom home. So he saw, and so he knew what she was.
Right.
And I think the judge had street smarts too, because he was there when she needed him, when a guy wouldn't let her mother go.
Mhm.
and he helped her out there. You know, it's like she didn't know, but he was watching her all the time.
Mm, yeah.
Mhm.
So what about her friends that helped her? You had Lynn and Noah and Jared.
They were loyal. I love the fact that Jared, I mean, we know that a romance blossomed, and it was sad he didn't have a relationship with his father. So he had to get through that. But then he was very helpful and stuck with Avery to get, to go through the whole situation. Because, that had to have been hurtful. You feel neglected. You don't
Mhm.
feel like, your father cares, but wow, he learned how much his dad did love him and did care. And all his
Mhm.
dad did for him was what the dad thought was the best for him. Because, sometimes people, they can be married to their careers, they have children, and they don't know what to do with the kids. So, they may put the kids off on a relative or something of that nature, but the child still feels neglected. But the parent knew they were doing the best for the child because they wouldn't have been able to properly parent them. So I like the fact that Jared and Avery, I believe in the next book, we're going to see a relationship that is totally blossomed. And they
Yes.
may have their ups and downs, but they were great. And then the roommate, everybody was so intelligent. So the people who helped Jared did, the roommate who was a physician, right?
Yes.
And
Lynn.
then
Mhm.
the book editor, who was the other
The
gentleman
lawyer,
with
Noah was the lawyer.
the
Right.
lawyer. Yes,
Mhm.
all of them, they played
The
a
lawyer.
part and it was good.
Mhm.
I think it was interesting at the fact that the lawyer came on board. He must have seen
Noah.
something that was in Avery to do that. And Jared did too. I mean, to be honest, I mean, if someone's coming in and taking over your dad's stuff and you're like, okay, what does this person have to gain? I mean, everybody thought she must have been having an affair of some sort, you
Correct.
know. It wasn't, but somehow there had to have been something in them to say, okay, wait a second, she's different, and I don't know, I thought that was good. And her roommate standing by her, sticking by her, I thought that was really, you know nice. And she was smart herself in the whole medical field, which they
Mhm.
needed as
Mhm.
well. So
Mhm.
that was very helpful.
And they did this knowing that they were in danger. These were some
Correct. I was going to say,
Yeah.
thank
Mhm.
you, putting
dangerous
their
people they were dealing with. But
Yeah.
correct.
that loyalty, they stuck right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jared was almost like this is his dad, so he's in it. But then Noah and the roommate, they didn't have to do this because the roommate's name,
Lynn.
Lynn,
Lynn.
yes,
Yeah.
they didn't have to. But then Lynn, it's like everything at the house and, being watched and, let's go out here to talk. It was like, yes, it has its twists and turns.
Mhm.
She wove a beautiful tapestry.
I think it was good and very important that Avery do some of the things that he asked her
Mhm.
to do with Jared, because it made Jared actually go, wait a second, this is from my happy memories of my childhood. And it was like all of a sudden it dawned on him that his dad actually really did care about those times. But once his wife, died, he just couldn't cope. It was just too much for him. But it took him going through that journey with Avery in order to discover that, in fact, his dad thought about him daily, really.
And
Right.
actually, the dad planned the whole thing with him being a part of solving it as well. Because if it wasn't for
Mhm.
his childhood memories, they would not have found answered some of those
Ceiling.
clues. Yeah,
Correct.
Mhm.
the stars in the bedroom. So
Right.
if he wasn't there, she would never have figured that out.
I
Right.
really like that even from the beginning, Jared felt that he could trust Avery. Because even when she went to the hospital, when he slipped that note in her hand, and I think that started to build that trust. Because at first, she didn't know who she could trust. But
Sure.
as time went on and they interacted more, she saw that they saw each other as very intricate pieces to solving this puzzle. The wife, you're right, she was, she was that classic, I'm gonna pick her. Why? He doesn't need to be on life support and all of that, but I'm glad that they formed that bond to keep his wishes and uncover, these plots and this medical stuff. So I think their bond was very important to the storyline.
Most definitely.
And like how the judge, he probably knew, he said, it's gonna come a time when Avery's gonna quake a little bit and rethink what she's doing. That stipulation he put in, if she refuses to do it, I turn my power, I give the power of attorney over to the wife.
Celeste.
That was a death sentence.
That's right.
Avery knew that, so he's still playing chess.
Correct.
He
Yes.
considered every move and the consequence it would have, and the move back. So that man was brilliant.
He
We haven't
was.
heard from Tiffany.
Look, he come out his coma because I was thinking about him.
We haven't heard from Tiffany.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Tiffany unmute
Tiffany.
herself and share with us.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm excited to hear all of you share your stuff because I'm sad to share that I'm only on chapter 5.
That's
Oh,
okay.
no.
It has just been a crazy, crazy month, and I have not had time to pick that book up. So, but I'm 5 chapters in. I'm enjoying it, and I'll just keep going.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Well, we're glad you joined us, Tiffany. You don't
Yes.
have to finish the book to join us. Your presence is missed when you're not
Oh,
here.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So
It sounds
Linda's
like everybody really enjoyed it. I'm kind of all over the place thinking, okay, who are all these people? So
It's a good book. It's a
now I'll
really
be
good
reading
book.
it going, oh, that's what she was talking about. That's what that meant.
exactly. And then we didn't even touch upon, we'll let that unravel with you, but it's just amazing how when you find out the bad guy, we've got the president, and then what he did when he was vice president, and then his
Yes.
henchman, and they were some wicked people, and it's amazing they did all of this to kill Muslims.
Mhm.
Muslims.
Wow.
It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Mhm.
Design a weapon to kill a specific population.
Yes.
Wicked.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And we can think in our history how many times other people have had it against others. It's like our Native American Indians were first,
Mhm.
Yeah, with the
and
blankets.
then, with slavery, African Americans, and then with the Chinese, with the Japanese, with the Jewish people. It's like, come on already. It's like we're all human beings. If we bleed, if you need a blood transfusion, you don't ask what nationality was the person. That's not even on the blood. It's like if I need O and you have O, it's like, okay, I'll take it. Oh no, I can't take it from you. If I take your blood, it's going to turn me purple. But anyway, I know, but it's like man just seems like they have to have a reason where it's a power struggle. Like I'm on top, you're below. But anyway, that's another day. Go ahead, Ms. Linda.
Okay, so if one of the things that I highlighted was this out of the book, this passage. But if he had to pick a champion, he chose the right one.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I agree.
can everybody just give one reason why you agree? I know loyalty is going to be one. What else?
Because she was smart. And he could see that. And she was a gamer. He knew that she liked solving puzzles. So that's why.
Exactly. She was tenacious.
Yes.
I would say she had
Yeah,
grit
tenacious.
and perseverance. She just
Mhm.
pushed forward.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I think it's kind of like the Apostle Paul when he talked about, she wasn't going to let anything stop her. And that's what she did. One thing I really liked about the book, and it said, it talked about Jared saying how his father made him play chess.
Mhm.
And he said to the point, I never want to look at another chessboard. But I feel like his father pushed him to play chess because there's the way chess trains your mind to think is what his father really wanted to impart to him. I think that's really that I really found that insightful.
Mm-hmm. And I like the way the judge was smart enough to frame the president.
Yes.
Because he was brilliant. Okay, I have in the book, Avery was talking about her mother. She said, she's my mother, a threatening heart in one day and a fragile champion the next day. Is that a pretty good description of Miss Rita?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
What about these chess moves? Anybody play chess halfway serious? No. Okay. But some interesting chess moves, especially the one about sacrificing the bishops. Did anybody figure out who the bishops were that had to be sacrificed? Did anybody come up with anything?
Probably the nurse.
The nurse. Well, she did. She was sacrificed.
Right, for sure.
We haven't talked about her at all.
Right, that was sad.
Yes.
Yep, she was sacrificed as well as the person
Betty.
who uncovered the whole plot.
Yes, at the office. Yes, correct.
And she wasn't she smart to put it in a box and
Yes.
with the office mail.
Right.
Yes.
And sent it to, of all people, the man that was partner
With the pharmaceutical company.
Pharmaceutical, exactly. So that was smart on her part. Did anybody catch the movie themes in the book? In addition to the chess theme, there were 3 movies that's kind of referenced in the book.
Really? Wait a minute now.
Yeah, you didn't catch them?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Linda, could you say that again? Because it cut out.
There were 3 movies kind of referenced in the book. 3 movies.
Yeah, there were, but wait a minute. Wait a minute.
One of them was the Godfather. It was a word from
Right.
the movie The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can pronounce it. Consigliere, mean advisor. They also tilting at the windmills. What's that in reference to? Which movie? Broadway play. Tilting at windmills. Don Quixote.
Oh, Don Quixote? Oh, wow. Okay, Don Quixote. Okay.
And then they also mentioned Failsafe, the movie Failsafe. Remember that from the 70s and 60s? About the end of the world, Russia bombing us and we bombing it. Those 3, I thought it was interesting how she wove those into the story.
Very good, Miss Linda.
Real subtle, but it was
Yes, man. And you know what? I went back over the book again. I listened to it again because I wanted to make sure I was, up to date. And after 2 times, I still didn't catch that.
That was good.
So I'm going to final end like this, and then you guys can tell me how would you rate this book and why. But toward the end of the book, there was a passage in chapter 47 that says, the pursuit of right should not end at the courthouse steps, but must prevail when all other avenues have been blocked. That kind of sum up the book. She didn't just stop.
It does.
Whatever it took, the clues, she did it to right a wrong. Yeah. All right, Miss Vivian, how would you rate the book if you was giving it some popcorn stars from 1 to 5?
10.
And Cindy?
I'd give it, since you said 5, I'll follow the rules, Vivian, because I was going to say 10, but 5.
See, Vivian was being like
stars.
Avery. Avery would have went outside the box too. And Miss Melody
I'd give it a 5.
and Miss Harriet. Harriet, I think she froze.
5, okay.
5, okay. And I know
And Tiffany.
Well, then I
Tiffany.
definitely have to finish it, I guess, if
Yes.
everybody's being at 5. It gets 110. I guess I've got some reading to do.
Well, guess what? Tiffany got to chapter 5, so that's very apropos.
Very good. Okay, just go through. It's a good read. I think it's a good read. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the book, and you can have some final comments, but basically that's it for me.
Awesome. Linda, thank you for hosting a phenomenal book club. And we
Mhm.
recommend that everybody read While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. So we'll see you next time at Women on the Move Book Club.